Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today I want to do a new series which I want to call policy review. So basically I'll be reviewing major policies from candidates from the 2020 election. So I think that I start off with Andrew Yang, as he has a lot of really big policies that I think are really interesting. So I'm going to start off with the first one, which is make Election Day a holiday. So basically on his website, he has like the problems to be solved, and then he has the guiding principles, and he has the goals, and then he says what he'll do as president. So I'm going to read that. The problems to be solved. Many American workers must choose between making enough money to pay their bills and voting on election day. So basically I'm going to grade each policy, and then at the end I'm going to give a total grade on Andrew Yang's policies. So this is coming from my perspective. I'm a moderate, I guess I lean Republican, kind of more libertarian, but socially liberal. So here, many American workers aren't allowed to take time off on election day. Yeah, that's a pretty big problem. So his guiding principles are civic engagement and equality. So goals: increase voter turnout, ensure no one is prevented from voting because of economic considerations. So as president, I will make election day a federal holiday, provide tax breaks to employers equivalent to total wage paid to workers who are given paid time off to vote. So yeah, that's an amazing policy, especially because this will really increase voter turnout, which is what we want. We want more people voting in our elections. So I give this an A+. Now I want to look at this. Make Puerto Rico a state. I actually disagree with this one, but I don't even want Puerto Rico in the country anymore. I don't want it to be a territory or a region anymore in the United States, but he wants it to be a state. Puerto Rico has been a part of the U.S. for over a century, but has never been granted the full rights of a statehood. Yeah, okay. Equity. That's the guiding principles, goals. Make Puerto Rico a state. As president, I will take all steps necessary to promote Puerto Rican statehood as an overdue step toward equality, if this is what Puerto Ricans want. That would probably be a bad idea. The unemployment rate would skyrocket up. The stocks would go down. The economy would do horrible if Puerto Rico became a state. Puerto Rico is a really bad place to live in right now. And it's doing horribly economically. So, making it a state wouldn't be a good idea. I'll give this a C because I understand where he's coming from. He wants them to have equal rights as all the other people, or the other states, so they can vote in the general election and become citizen. They have the rights that other citizens of other states or people who live in the 50 states have, because they live in a state. But yeah, fight for equal pay. So what's the problem? I want to receive less pay for the same work as men do. So I have to disagree. The discrepancy in pay faced by Black, Hispanic, and Native American women is even more pronounced. So equality and fairness are their guiding principles. Promote equal pay for work. Work to elevate racial disparities in pay. So as president, you will pay all federal workers who are performing the same job, same salary. Work with states to implement salary disclosure laws. refuse to hire outside contractors and companies that won't disclose salary information for their employees who don't provide equal pay for all employees who are performing equivalent work. Pilot studies to see if different policies result in more equitable hirings and pay federal workforce. Example, blind hiring, 360 review promotion. So I disagree. I'd give this a D or an F, something like that, because we already have the Equal Pay Act, so what's the point of making more laws for equal pay? Men make on average more than women, but that's for reasons like they're more likely to negotiate their contract, and because women are more likely to, well, they are more likely to get pregnant. Men can't even get pregnant, so they'd be leaving. So maybe if you really cared about women and you wanted them to make the same as them, you wouldn't really want to make this because it's impossible because they're already paid the same. But women aren't paid when they are pregnant and they leave their job. So, yeah. Somewhere here I saw paid family leave. Yeah. So, the problem is it costs a lot of money, but I could agree to some wage, maybe paid family leave, but maybe lower the wage while she's leaving, because they do deserve it, because they're already losing money because they're not at work. So America's lack of paid family leave policy was a negative impact on health, women's employment rates, and family cohesion. A lack of paid family leave policy forces many single parents, especially mothers, into poverty. Yeah, I agree. Goals: create a federally mandated paid family leave policy. So, as President T will propose a fight for a paid family leave policy requiring employees to offer at least 9 months of paid family leave distributed between parents however they see fit, or 6 months of paid leave for a single parent. So, yeah, but I think that the wage, there should be like a maximum wage for how much you could pay. Well, you could go over it, but you can't be forced to. So maybe $5 a week. I mean, no. Maybe, lower wage. Like, maybe reduce it by half the current wage that they have. $5 is pretty low for that. 15. So maybe $7. Because you already want to raise the minimum wage to 15 in here, so yeah. I'm just looking for something here. I'm going to give that a B+. No, actually a B-. So the policy is democracy dollars. So the problem here is undercurrent Supreme Court jurisprudence. Individuals can contribute huge amounts of influence elections and politicians. Amending the Constitution to prevent this, or nominating judges to overturn it. And can't take decades. This is corrupting our democracy now. So democracy and fairness goals. Limit the influence of mega donors in our election. Allow the will of the people to show through. As president, I will provide every eligible American voter with 100 democracy dollars for federal election cycles. A voucher that they can use to support their candidate of choosing. This amounts to 23 plus billion nationwide per election, allowing more than 4 times the spending fueled by mega donor contributions and dark money. amazing policy. I just love this policy. It just makes me want to support Adrian. So, yeah, I'm really supporting this. A+. Maybe 2 more or 3 more. I'll make American Mall Act. Okay, let's look at this. When a mall closes down, it hurts the local economy, sends a signal to those considering investing in the area, and becomes a source of blight. So the guiding principles are safety and economic growth. So the problems are malls are getting closed, and it just hurts the local economy. So the goal is to find new uses for closed malls. So as president, I will sponsor the Mall Act, securing $6 billion fund to help struggling malls attract businesses, schools, organizations, and entrepreneurs to find new uses for buildings and commercial spaces. Good idea. I like it. There's nothing really that I can go against it. It's not a lot of money, but it's really effective. So A+ again. Okay, every cop gets a camera. So the problems to be solved. Police officers have dozens of interactions each day that would benefit from being recorded. I agree. So guiding principles, justice, and public trust. So goals, improve transparency and police work. So yeah, great idea. As president, authorize federal funding to pay for a body camera for every officer in every police department in the country. Have the DOJ compile accurate composite measurements, including from private sources of police-related incidents and deaths to establish baseline rates. Provide federal funding for training of local police officers and the latest techniques. Encourage community-based policing and reward departments for combination of low complaints and continued efficiency. Reestablish the ban on distributing surplus unnecessary military-level artillery gear to police departments. Invest in new non-lethal weaponry that can be used to de-escalate conflicts at range and handprint signatures, guns, so that weapons can only be used by their officers. He reached for my gun will no longer apply. Good idea all around. I really like it. I'm gonna give this an A+ again. I also think that cops should be criminalized if they don't have their camera on intentionally. That would encourage them to put it on at all times. So yeah. A+ again. Now I want to go to something that I disagree with. So maybe he could change my mind on it. Okay. Right to privacy, abortion, and contraception. Okay. Goal. Okay. Problems to be solved. The right of many American women to have control over their bodies is being unconstitutionally eroded by legislators who have no medical background. So, the thing is, does Yank have a medical background? And we're talking about it. I disagree on here because I don't really think of it as a woman's right to choose. I think of it as abortion as the baby's right, as the baby's death penalty for being a fetus. It's just more of murdering a child. It's not a woman's right to choose if they want to eliminate a separate body. And you could go out and say that it's still not a living being and it's not human life, but even if it was, it's potential human life. And you kill people in comas. No, that would be immoral. So the same thing could be said about abortion. I understand that there are parts that have the woman's health at risk, and those are the only times that I think that it should be allowed. Saying that in incest or rape, abortion should be allowed is just so hypocritical of people. It doesn't change anything about the baby. It only changes it about the mother. So goals: protect the right to privacy of American women and treat women equally. A man can't get pregnant, first of all. I don't know how this is discriminating against women. You're literally killing some women by supporting abortion. So as president, I will appoint judges who support a woman's right to choose, in every circumstance, and provide resources for planning and contraception. So I have a better idea. Promote birth control. Promote these kinds of stuff. Make them free, you know? I'm supporting Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ted Cruz's team up for promoting birth control. If birth control and condoms were used correctly, then a lot of times abortion would not be needed. There would never have been a fetus, and then nobody would die. It would just be happy for everybody. Eliminating this baby is killing it. So, yeah. F- on Yang's policy on abortion. Let's see. I want to see some of his nice ideas that I don't really know about. Like fund autism intervention. So, autism affects 1 in 59 American children, but resources currently don't meet the needs of these children. Yeah, I agree. Oh, one of his children is on the autism spectrum. It's really sad. I feel really bad for him. I understand where he's coming from here. So education, health, equity, adequately fund early childhood intervention and treatment for autistic children. As president, I will direct the Department of Education to support states with information and funding in implementing programs to identify and treat autistic children. Destigmatize autism and relate neurological profiles as commonplace and distinct. So, great idea here. A+. We have to fund the autism intervention. Autism is really a big problem in the country, and we have to help. Okay. Reduce the student loan burden. Okay. Problems to be solved. Education that has exploded in recent years to unsupportable levels. Millions of young Americans owe tens of thousands of dollars in debt and face an uncertain financial future. Entire generations will have difficulty advancing professionally, starting families, buying homes and vehicles, and fueling the next level of economic growth due to high-level debt loads. There is low accountability for educational institutions that benefit from public financing while providing graduates little in the way of real opportunity. Lenders have little incentive to work with those in debt since bankruptcy doesn't eliminate student loan debt. I think that student loan debt should be allowed to be filed for bankruptcy. If everything else is, this should also. Goals: reduce the burden on millions of young Americans for their education, improve efficiency to fund invested in education, increase accountability of educational institutions. So, as president, I will immediately reduce the student loan payments for millions of Americans by ensuring that the American government does not profit 1 cent from its educational loan servicing, and that students get the same interest rates as the wealthiest bank. Any profit that the government does realize will go into reducing rates for the following year. Unit profit 0. Yeah, I agree. Explore a blanket partial reduction in principal of school loans for reducing graduates, the bailout for the people, and forgiveness for debt beyond a certain period after graduation. 30 years, yeah. Propose a 10x10 student loan emancipation act by which the federal government would buy student loan debt negotiated with the private lenders and allow students to opt into a plan to repay through pledging 10% of their salary per year for 10 years, in which the balance would be forgiven. Ask schools to forgive in part and whole of their debt of those who do not graduate. Initiate a program that allows graduates to pay percent of income instead of a fixed amount. Establish a commission that will explore debt forgiveness or reduction for students who sought degrees under false pretenses. Expand a program that forgives debt of graduates who work in rural areas and underprivileged populations. Close schools with high loan debt rates and consistently low unemployment placement successes. Police and prosecute all marketing representations of schools that might induce enrollment under false pretenses. Allow student loan debt to be discharged through bankruptcy, thus forcing lenders to work with students in good faith to find workable repayment plans. Amazing. I just love how policy-wise he is, how much policy savvy he is. He's so smart. It's so into policy. It's amazing how detailed it is. A plus. I just want to read one more, and then residents of our nation's capital are taxed without receiving representation in Congress. Yeah, that's a problem. Provide representation to citizens in our nation's capital. So as president, I will work with Congress to bring Washington, D.C. to the Union as a state with equal representation. I guess that could be a good idea. Maybe it doesn't have to be a state, but it could get representation because it is still a city and is the place where the president goes. So maybe a B something. Yeah, just a B. So, yeah. I know I didn't get into his biggest policy, but there are so many other amazing policies of his. So, maybe I'll get to the freedom dividend in a different video. I think I'll give Yang's policies an A- or an A. His policies are great. I'll post a community tab poll to ask who you want me to do next in this series. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.